like we have got ourselves a game, so it looks like we are finally gonna get this show on the road. We are gonna watch two best out of threes today. We're gonna start off with neXtPlease, not to be confused with neXtKZ. neXtPlease is actually a really old school team. They registered their team name as one of the first teams, as from what I've seen. So that's pretty impressive. But they have Relax, You're Doing Fine as their opponent for their first matchup today. It's a double elimination bracket, so even if one of the teams will lose, obviously the team that loses will still have a second chance in the lower bracket. But for now, it is all seeing who goes to the lower bracket, who goes to the upper bracket. Of course, I am not by myself today. I am joined by G Advance. Welcome back, I should say. Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Thanks very much for having me on. I'm glad to be here again.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back to casting as well, because so far, I mean, me personally as well, I haven't really casted all that much. Joined the league a couple, but that's about it. So glad to be back in the casting chair, even though I guess it's always the same chair that I'm sitting on, so oh well. Looks like, by the way, we have a failed load, so I was planning on going like into the draft right now, but not entirely possible, as there is a issue with someone not loading in. But that will give us more time to take a look at the brackets, because it's not often that you see a 16 team double elimination bracket. What are your thoughts?
That's a ton of games.
That is a ton of games.
It gives teams a lot of opportunities as well, which I think is always important, because a fair number of these teams are sort of, people haven't heard of them that much. neXtPlease, people have kind of heard of them, like on the very fringes. So it's nice to see them get as many opportunities to play in a sort of public format as much as possible.
Yeah, I fully agree. And on top of that, it's best out of threes, so there is there really are a lot of games, as you said. It's gonna be insane, and hopefully a lot of good games as well, as there are, of course. I mean, there is a lot of unknown teams in here, fairly unknown, I should say, but there's a lot of known as well. So they have the chance to prove themselves against one of the top teams in the scene right now, and I'm talking about Rockskiss, neXtKZ, Power Rangers. I mean, they might not be they might not be Navi or Alliance, but they're definitely worthy opponents. And on top of that, we've got, of course, Meet Your Makers back in this one, formerly known as Team Life, as well as 4FC, and the Retry, and Vul Assassins, which you might have known as QPad Red Pandas beforehand, so they're now Vul Assassins. And of course, I mean, I'm not even saying the team yet that we're going to see right now, but Relax has got some very strong potential as well, especially in terms of lineup, as it looks like we are successfully loading in this time. So that's going to be awesome. We are going to have ourselves our first matchup of the day. It will be Relax, You're Doing Fine up against neXtPlease, and there we go. So there has been so many different drafting styles going on. Do you have a favorite?
I kind of seeing Jakiro.
Oh, you're kind of cutting out, by the way.
10 seconds
Am I?
remaining.
Yeah. Oh, no, not anymore. But it seems like your microphone is not pressed all the
5
time.
seconds remaining.
I'll look into that.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the whole Jakiro thing coming back, but I really hate seeing the whole liquid fire first, and picking liquid fire and dual breath over the stun. It's like horrifying to see. It's like a baseline, like if you're playing Dota, max your stun or your escape first, or like level 1 you get a stun or escape, right? And they don't at all. So I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, I like the harass potential for Jakiro, but the thing I like, because I like Jakiro, I'm a fan, but I like him most if he gives the potential for wombo combos. Like, I like the harass.
Yeah,
is nice,
exactly. He's a big teamfight hero, really.
I mean, the shiny things of a dark sea of vacuum inside a chronosphere, inside a macropyre, literally ultimate bouncing around, It might not be a 5-man black hole, but it's still so pretty. Yeah. I really hope that we're gonna see something like that, or at least big team fights, because that has been coming back.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more big team fight heroes. We haven't seen Darkseer coming back though, which I'm kind of surprised by, because I think we can. And we've seen Tidehunter played a bit. That's a hero you're famous for, Shiva.
Yeah, but I would like to see him get back as well, because he is like if the team fight does start to get more stronger, then you're gonna look for that. But the thing is, right now, team fights are still being done a lot, but there's a lot of team fights, and the downside of Tidehunter is that you only have a Ravage every so often. And if you are the star of playing a Nyx Assassin, your Impales can be mini Ravages if you land them properly and have 3 or 4 heroes in them. It's not a Ravage, but it's just as good. Maybe even better.
Yeah, it
It's
can
such a
definitely
short
be
cooldown.
exactly as good as a Ravage. Obviously, it's harder to initiate with. Going later, earlier it's probably a little bit easier to initiate with because you've got the invis, but later when there's sentry wards and gems everywhere and stuff, you pretty much have to get a blink dagger and you have to get perfect timing with it. And we do see it picked up because it's a hero that, again, it's another hero that's seeing a little bit of a resurgence recently. People are picking, really interesting supports right now, but mostly standard supports though this game, apart from Nyx, I think.
Yeah, we have seen Nyx a bit more often, but not as a support. Mostly in the offlane is the one that he has actually been played a lot in, but still very versatile. I think the same thing goes for an Alchemist, who we've seen been played mid a lot, as well as being still played as a support. So I like that both teams keep their options open. Now for banning, I like the Invoker ban because he has been making such a big comeback and such a big impact as well. As we have Slark, Venomancer, as well as Enchantress ban out, I think those are fairly generic. Not really anything specific target for, like, they're like, this meta does not have any permabans.
Yeah, I think there's no hero who's massively OP in any way. Some people will argue about, which heroes are best. It's like all the new heroes that are coming in, which I think will start to get added to CM soon. Like, people still aren't sure if they're useless or really OP. I mean, obviously the heroes we see banned are very, very useful, but heroes like Invoker, like, it's still a little bit, the jury's still a little bit out on whether Quaswex is that viable, because I think it got, I think Nahaz was saying about this, it got picked like 9 times in a row and lost every single game, like the day after it got buffed, and it was, but I mean, yeah, I like seeing it banned out as well. It's such a high impact hero, and if you're a little bit worried about an Invoker player on the enemy team, it's best to just get rid of it.
Yeah, that's basically it. If you know that there is a very strong Invoker player, just, ban it out. Fully agree with that. I do find it kind of sad that Mirana gets banned out in this one, as I do still like her play. She has been played a bit more as a roamer, I believe. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see that. We're not going to see an OD nor a Pugna as well. And a Nature's Prophet removed from the pool as well. It still seems fairly generic bans. I mean, they're strong heroes that they banned out, of course. But nothing specifically against what the teams might have in mind, or at least it doesn't feel that way to me. It might, of course, be different, because, of course, these two teams should know each other, though I believe neXtPlease Gaming is Romanian. And
yeah, they're Romanian.
Russian or
I think they're
Belarus.
mostly, like, they're part like multiple countries. But yeah, both teams are being pretty conservative. I mean, for instance, banning heroes like OD and Furion, like, you just don't want to have to deal with that, and you want to be able to play a sort of, it looks like they're playing, relatively safe. I mean, Next picked up one of the safest carries in the game, which is a Lifestealer, because he has a crazy amount of defensive tools at his capability, and he's very, very good aggressively as well. Relax, they pick up good tempo controllers, fairly good damage so far. But neXtPlease, they're going with a little bit more aggressive now. Storm Spirit Lifestealer, crazy powerful combo.
Yeah, there goes the Infest bombs. Looking forward to seeing those, and to be honest, I would really like to see, like, I don't think it's going to be happening this game anymore, but last Saturday, I saw a bounty hunter that had a blink dagger, and that was just jumping around with the Lifestealer infested inside of him. That was so enjoyable to watch, and I'm hoping that we're going to see that today at some point. I don't think it's going to happen today. I said there's already a Storm Spirit there, so they don't really need something else to work out with that infest. And by the way, I'm trying to increase the volume of my microphone, but for now I was just trying to fine-tune some buttons and finding which button I should change. And I think I did it. I think I just increased my volume. Do you hear me louder?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Time will tell if the chat is happy with it or not. We'll see.
Well, they better be. They're just going to have to deal with it.
Yep. They have to. And I'm gonna talk louder anyway when in game because, you know, there might be team fights happening, I might be shouting and you'll say, you know, turn your microphone down. So that happened too. I like the Puck pickup. Puck against Storm Spirit is fairly decent. I like that he has a silence. Normally when you see a Storm Spirit up against another intellect hero in the mid, you see a race for an Orchid, but when you're having a Puck, it might not be the ideal hero. I mean, he'll still have a tough time last hitting, and of course that phase shift, he has got to time that perfectly, but later on in the game, once he has his blink, it's going to be really strong for picking off that Storm. Though he has to be careful that there's no Life Stealer infested inside the Storm, otherwise he might just kill himself, but the idea is there.
5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hero for dealing with the Storm Spirit. They're both actually really good at dealing with each other, because they both have fairly good initiation range, and they both generally, Storm Spirit will pick up an Orchid just as a core item for him. If he can ball in, because you can still use the Orchid while you're balling, so the range that you can do it on a Puck, so you get flying vision as well from using the ball, is very, very high, and the chances of a Puck managing to make it away, blink, or phase shift to dodge it, and then blink away is pretty low. It's the margin for error is very, very slim. So they're both very powerful heroes at initiating against each other, and in fact right now, initiation is the biggest thing on both these teams. Nyx Assassin on Relax, and a Puck, and Storm Spirit, Lifestealer, and Alchemist on the side of Nyx. So both teams want to be pretty damn aggressive, I feel.
Oh, I hope it's not going to be working counterproductive, because we've seen that before when two very aggressive teams meet. It might just cancel each other out. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. I don't think, like, as you said, it's very, like, the initiation for both teams is very strong, so they'll want to be the first one to initiate. So hopefully we will see just fights upon fights, but time will tell. I guess Abaddon is the last ban for neXtPlease. They're probably thinking maybe still Bristleback with an Abaddon dual lane. I'm kind of curious though, because I was expecting on the side of Relax to still have, like right now, still have a core carry picked up. Because Nyx Assassin in this case, I mean, he can go offlane for sure, but I'd like him to see, I'd like to see him as a support together with a Visage, Bristleback offlane, and then just put something still on the hard lane, or on the safe lane rather, just as a solid core. And Doom picked up by neXtPlease. I like that a lot, and gives them an extra hard disable as well. I say hard disable, I mean the Doom of course is not really him making people stand still, but I like it a lot. It gives another semi-carry, something that Relax is already not going to topple over, because Lifestealer, Doom, and perhaps an Alchemist later on in the game, and a Storm Spirit of course, are gonna right now outcarry whatever Relax has, unless there is going to be like a Faceless Void or an Anti-Mage.
Yeah, and it's not like they're weak early as well. Lifestealer and Storm Spirit, Lifestealer particularly, is famous for being one of the best carries for early game fighting. You get phase boots on that hero, and you're already very, very scary. I think neXtPlease here, they might run an aggressive tri-lane with a Lifestealer, Crystal Maiden, Alchemist. That's really good, and Doom, pretty good solo. He'll struggle a little bit versus the harass that Bristleback can put out, but he's very unlikely to die. He's got a lot of HP, and he can back off into the jungle anytime he's feeling particularly hard done by. So, yeah, I mean, this could be an interesting game here. It's crazy initiation. Again, another hero who's great initiation, Doom. You can pick up a Blink Dagger. If you're going for more of a carry role, you can pick up a Shadow Blade, run in, Doom somebody, and just go crazy. So I love that there's multiple routes of initiation on this team, because multiple redundancy is very important, because it means just because you've lost one hero, say in a gank, doesn't mean that you can't fight anymore.
Yeah, and for Russian viewers right now, there is a Russian stream up. Panturo is streaming in Russian, I believe. And otherwise, if you want to stay here, then Privet Kak Dela, and that's all the Russian I can speak. There you go. Fixed. And Luna, I like the Luna. They needed a hard carry. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. And one thing that we have to keep in mind is that at least in my opinion, neXtPlease is the one that is here to prove that they can be can be part of the top tiers of the Dota 2 scene, because from my point of view, they're a fairly new team. Now I know they've been around for a while, but I have not casted them before. I've not seen them before play either. So I'm really hoping that they can prove that they can actually work this aggressive lineup, I should say.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, they've possibly outdrafted the side of Relax a little bit here, because Relax have got, I mean, Bristleback, he is sort of a carry hero, but he doesn't do immense amounts of damage by any chance, and it takes him a long time to do his damage as well. He really enjoys long, drawn-out fights, which, with huge initiation power on the side of Nyx, and having a Doom versus what is essentially a one-core carry lineup, just the Luna. If you Doom the Luna, what does the side of Relax do? Late game.
Run
Even
at you with the
mid-game.
bristleback? Maybe have a Scythe of Ice or run away, but probably.
Mostly run away. I think run away is the best answer for them. So, yeah, I'm excited to see Next go for this because, like you said, they definitely have something to prove in this. And what they're proving right now is they know where the pause button is.
Yep, no, that's indeed true. We have got, well, everybody picked up their heroes, so the pause comes actually from neXtPlease. Let's take a look at who is playing what. For the Dire side, it is Relax, but there's some people that have not switched their names, so I looked it up before. Let's see if I remember, because except this is actually Dread playing the Visage right now. Turtle rather. Turtle is Tamar Wild. Tiger in Space is Shaklo. Then Nyx Assassin is actually Solo. And then Nexus is Nexus, so that's, you know, thank you Nexus for being nice. But those are the players right there. This is probably the only time that I'm actually gonna remember everything. Well, Tamar Wild obviously makes sense, and Dread makes sense as well. I guess Shaklo makes sense as well. Does mean that we're gonna have a Bristleback off lane, Luna safe lane with the Visage and the Nyx Assassin, and hopefully a lot of roaming from Dread as well solo to try and get some kills on the board, because they need that early game advantage, as you mentioned. Late game, they're not having that strong of a case against neXtPlease, so they need to make sure they got that early game working for them. Hey, Cat.
Yeah. To go through the side of Next?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the side of Next we have Illusionist. He's going to be one of the supports for the team, going to be picking up the Alchemists, Raztvi. Yep, I'm sure I just murdered that name there. Picking up the Crystal Maiden. Keanu. He's going to be on the Storm Spirit, going into the solo mid position probably. Red Light, the carry for the team. Picking up the Life Stealer. And last but not least, it is actually going to be an off-lane Doom here, picked up by Synergy. I'm a little bit surprised they don't want to go aggressive.
Yeah, we've seen offlane Dooms before, but that was a while ago. And if you're expecting, which, you know, we are expecting it, so I'm thinking that they are too. If you're expected to be up against an aggressive or safe tri-lane with the Nyx Assassin and the Visage, that's not the safest place for Doom to be. We do, however, see supports already roaming around, Illusionist and Rustvi, having both a smoke, so aggression already from their early game items.
Yeah, they want to roam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the best support combos for roaming around and killing people, even with the nerf to both of them.
Yeah, coming around the corner with the stun charged up, you're not going to be able to run from that. And then Crystal Maiden might be slow, might not have that much intellect, but she will still be able to run at you and frostbite you, so you still cannot run. And the amount of right-click damage that any of the three laners can do together with, of course, the Alchemist as well, so Crystal Maiden should be enough for any kill on any hero right now on Relax, apart from perhaps the Bristleback and perhaps the Puck, who can orb away, most likely. So, aka, they have to gank top. Or be very convincing on the Bristleback, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to gank a Bristleback. Perhaps they can kill him at level 1. He's one of those heroes that's surprisingly weak at level 1, because you almost have to get Quill Spray level 1. You don't get Bristleback. And he doesn't actually have that much HP. 606, not a huge amount. His armor's pretty low. They can maybe kill him level 1. It's kind of difficult though, so yeah, they might just farm up for a few minutes and then go and roam around, but mostly they're just going to want to try and do as much damage as possible to the Luna's farm. Because even with a Doom on the field, you don't have a 100% guaranteed chance you're gonna Doom the Luna every time. You may as well, you know, work on making sure that you do.
Yeah, and I think the Doom rotating into the jungle is something that Relax is going to be very happy with, because now that Luna has free farm and might be able to make a difference earlier on the map, well, of course, that Bristleback still tries to make a difference bottom. It's going to be tough, as you mentioned. We'll see if he can make something happen, and if he doesn't die. I think a lot of things are going to be decided by this middle lane, though. Puck against that Storm Spirit. Now, overall, Storm should be getting slightly ahead, and we already see that Keanu is harassing Tamar Wild quite heavily here. But whoever gets level 6 first should be able to either roam and get a kill, or get a kill up against the person that he's up against.
Speaking and I think of roams, though, Nyx Assassin. No, Keanu sees it.
Yeah, wait
he's just going to walk off.
Oh, we're having a bit of trouble with Shaklo. I think he's going to be okay, actually. The stun has already gone off. But that's the sprays that can do it, yeah. 2 rotations at the same time, I guess. Or at least the Bristleback didn't necessarily go for a rotation. He just, you know, he ran through the enemy jungle. I guess that's
Yeah, he's
what's
probably
fine.
just trying to pick up some experience, maybe steal a couple last hits from the supports, because unlike the lifestealer, who he can't really go into the lane against, if he's, 1v1 against a support trying to get a last hit, he's going to get the last hit, because both of these two have pretty terrible animations and, a bad time, actually, with base damage as well.
I do like that Nyx comes around in the middle lane, by the way. He was obviously scouted out the second time as well, when maybe trying to go for a kill, but he does make sure that Keanu is not feeling as safe as he probably would be without the Nyx assassin there. So Tamo Wild is keeping up with last hits on the Storm Spirit, which is pretty decent. As in the meantime on the top lane, it is not actually Luna that is farming most right now. He is on par with the Lifestealer, as the Lifestealer should be, in my opinion, slightly behind because, or ahead, or no, behind because the Bristleback is still there. As maybe, no, mana burn just enough, just harassment mid. Nyx Assassin spending a lot of his efforts trying to harass Keanu here.
Yeah, and that's really important because, like we saw immediately at level 1, it's not Turtle, it's Tamo Wild. Tamo Wild was being harassed and really heavily bullied in the lane by Keanu and the Storm Spirit, which is pretty natural for a Storm Spirit to do. You can drop those static remnants as well as the overloads. So yeah, sending the Nyx Assassin there to just burn his mana weakens his ability to do anything in the lane. And like you were saying about the Lifestealer in the bottom lane here, not possibly, being able to free farm as well, you would expect that, but I noticed how Red Light was last hitting, and he's a fantastic last hitter, I gotta say. He was doing a really good job there. Zoning the offlaner and getting all of his last hits and all of his denies. I mean, even right now, he's getting pretty much every deny.
Yeah, it's impressive, and he is keeping up with the Luna, and even still a bit ahead. As the mids have picked up their bottle, we still have some rotations from support expected, as we already have a smoke up for the Alchemist who comes middle. Again though, first Storm has to bait out that phase shift and possibly also wait until the orb is on cooldown and only then come in, because, oh, wait a second, that's the orb already. That's the phase shift right there, and that's gonna be a vortex into a stun, and that should be our first blood on the board. Keanu takes it home. Nyx Assassin has still got a mana burn, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to get the kill. He's gonna be harassed a bit here, but Keanu is just fine, and that is, I mean, that's exactly what I said. They have to wait for the orb and the phase shift. Puck used both, no escape, you're dead. That's how it goes. No second chances.
Yeah, and the smartest thing about that was that they initiated with the electric vortex as well, because it's a virtually instant stun. The animation is pretty much the same as Storm Spirit's last hit animation as well, so you can't tell that it's coming at you. It's very, very fast, so yeah, Tamo Wild goes down to that. Smart rotation from the Alchemists. And that's what the side of Next really... They have a lineup that wants to rotate, wants to get things done. Relaxed. Well, I mean, they want a more relaxed style of game. They want a slower pace of game. They have a Luna on their team, which is a hero notorious for sort of fighting whenever Eclipse is up, and then just farming very, very fast. So, yeah, it's going pretty well for Next so far. I'd like to see them maybe pick up the pace a little bit more. The Crystal Maiden's been very, very farm heavy.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, relax. There's one thing that they can do, like if things start to indeed get slightly out of control. For now, there's no chat of that just yet, because obviously it's only first blood. Everything can happen. But one thing that they do have going for them is the ability to take fast towers. I really like the set that Luna has. Every time I see it, I have to say something about it. I'm sorry for that, but people should get it if you play Luna, that is. Because I want to see, if I play with a Luna, I want to see that set. Okay, so... No, but the early tower is something that, of course, Relax can definitely do. On top of that, because they're supports, it's only Nyx Assassin that's rotating. So Dread is getting levels in the jungle and is pulling and stacking and is getting basically all the jungle experience by himself, as we might have a bit of a trouble for Crystal Maiden. No, there is an Impale, but ironically enough, Crystal Maiden is too fast.
She's outrun them,
yeah,
which is hilarious.
Oh, they go for
lane,
Turtle again though. Frostbite and Stun is there, and that's the second kill on the board. neXtPlease, they are having a solid start right here.
Yeah, and Tamo Wild, I mean, his sort of trademark over-aggression, I think, there. He was way too far up. He's on the enemy high ground, and he saw the Crystal Maiden going there. They know for a fact as well that the Alchemist has been nowhere but top and rotating around. He maybe should have been a little bit further back then. I mean, you know, maybe you could have just thought, oh, the Crystal Maiden's running away. She won't immediately turn around and try and fight, but that's exactly what happened, and the Storm Spirit initiation there, again, both these heroes, Puck and Storm Spirit, are good against each other. They're both heroes that actually counter each other, which sounds crazy, but it's just because they're very high initiation and burst damage.
Yeah, and it's what you said during the draft. It all depends on who initiates on who. And right now, it looks like Storm is going to be taking the leading role for that one, as he is rotating top together with the Doom. The Sun is already being charged up. They want to go for Nexus, and I think they're going to get what they want. Nexus has got no chance to get away from this one. Tried to go for the Eclipse, doesn't get it. Even a Doom used for the Visage as Dread drops as well. 4-0 right now in favor of neXtPlease, and yeah, they've got a great showing, and their draft, I have to say, I have to agree with you, as you said earlier. I feel like they have kind of outdrafted Relax. You're doing fine.
Yeah, I mean,
not doing that fine, actually.
If they wanted to go for an aggressive tri-lane, they could have, but it seems like they were pretty comfortable not needing to actually do that, and not wanting to give away much to the Bristleback, and it's allowed them to move their supports around a lot more. It's a really good draft versus the side of Relaxes, because Relax right now, they're stuck with having to farm on their Luna. I feel like Luna was kind of a bad pick in this situation. They maybe needed somebody who could just fight as early as possible, or somebody who could perhaps split push a little bit better.
Yeah,
try and avoid the side of Next.
I mean, you're saying, like, okay, now what Relax needs to do is to continue to farm on that Luna. And for that to happen, of course, you have to have someone that creates space. Now, there are a couple of heroes on Relax that can do that, and of course Puck is the main one for that, but because he has already died twice, means that he's not going to be able to be that person that they need. Nyx Assassin would be another one, but because he sacrificed his levels to try and help Puck middle, which obviously did not pay off, he's not going to be that one either. And Bristleback is still level 5. He is trying to get some Ancients, might be getting his level 7 of that maybe, at least he'll get his level 6, but he is not one of those strong heroes that can make things happen by himself. He needs to back him up. Visage, also not level 6 just yet, so also is not going to have a very big impact, while we have already seen Next rotating constantly. We even have Crystal Maiden, who is level 5 as well, sitting around mid again. And still has her smoke, by the way.
She's still got that smoke. She bought that instantly and hasn't found a use for it yet. It's not surprising, because Crystal Maiden really in this game, she's so slow. I mean, it's still a big issue with her, that and the fact that she's not very smart anymore. But yeah, she just struggles to initiate on a lot of heroes. Puck as well. You can frostbite him and it doesn't do anything. He can still just illusory orb out of it. Yeah, Relax, they need to get their Bristleback working with the rest of their team at this point. They basically need to just send everybody bottom and just try and cause chaos. Even if they perhaps don't win the fight particularly well, Nexus has gone for a fast Yasha, so he's going to farm up very fast indeed. So as long as they can actually just cause some chaos, cause problems for the side of Next, to the point where they basically forget about the Luna. I think that's their best option.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that Relax is going to be happy that the Lifestealer went for Midas, because it buys them a bit more time. It means that Lifestealer won't straight away go for action, but I don't think they need the Lifestealer to go for that, because top Nexus looks to be dead for the second time this game, as a Kiano, Eclipse comes out, and Kiano actually drops before Nexus has to get out of the Acid Spray. 12 health, oh, Acid Spray not done enough. Alchemist is the one to go down. The rotation came in. Crystal Maiden, Haste Rune. Super fast Crystal Maiden, and actually makes it out alive. By the looks of it, should be making it out alive. Tries to juke a bit, finds himself the Nyx Assassin, but Nyx Assassin, no mana for a stun, might be able to use
she's trying to go for the kill. What? She thinks he's hiding in the trees. Oh god.
Nice try though. I mean, Nexus was still around, I guess. But that's the first 3 kills that Relax has, and on top of that, they saved Nexus' life. That's huge. That is insanely huge. They buy themselves so much time.
That pretty much puts them back into their style of play, back into what they were doing beforehand and what they wanted to do. That Crystal Maiden use of ulti, I mean, it's worth dropping the ulti, because Crystal Maiden almost always drops her ulti and then gets killed.
Yeah.
And I think she knew she was going to die. Her haste rune was almost out. It was just really funny though, because the Luna's never going to be hiding in the trees there. She basically just went, well, screw it. I have no other choice.
Yep, might as well make a show of it. dance around a bit with my ulti. Well, I mean, it's nice. He wasted a bit of time of her opponents, and that's always decent. I mean, it gives Lifestealer more time to farm, so I guess in a way, space created, right? And Lifestealer is highest on net worth by quite a bit actually, by 600 gold. Now, it might seem like that's nothing, but if you take into consideration that the top tier 1 tower is dead on the side of neXtPlease rather, and both heroes have been safe farming, that's quite a lot of gold in favor of the Lifestealer.
Yeah, he's farming up like a champ right now. This is one of those, like, you need to be in the sort of position of a caster to know exactly how well he's going to be farming up, because obviously Relax don't know that he has another 2k gold, but yeah, he's going to basically have Armlet Midas face boots by around 13 minutes, maybe a little bit later than that, but he's also very, very highly leveled for his position. He's the highest level in the game, most farm, and Relax need to keep things at their own pace. It's pretty damn hard for them, because it's very possible that even if they do get their Luna farmed up, the Lifestealer could still end up being stronger, especially with a Midas.
Yeah, we do have a mechanism up. This is a very early mechanism. Kudos to Shaklo for getting this up. He actually has not been doing that bad. If we look at his farm, he's got treads and a mechanism at 13 minutes in. I like it. And it, oh, wait a second, middle lane has got something going on here. Impale up on 2. But it looks like it is going to be the neXtPlease people to try and run from this. It looks like there's nobody going to be dying. The Doom went up on the puck, but no follow-up possible because too many supports came around, and that mini Ravage that we talked about was there. Vendetta up as well. I don't think that solo can get anybody though. Or maybe he can if indeed Storm Spirit comes forward so far. He just killed himself. There we go. Visage still goes down though. Freezing field. This time might be able to make something happen. Nyx Assassin pops by Carapace, stops the freezing field, runs away from this alive and well. Crystal Maiden, I don't think she can say the same about her. Nope. Nyx Assassin, or Nexus rather, coming in with the Lucent Beam. Looks like Relax is gonna be well, they should be keeping it at that. I think that, yeah, Alchemy should be able to run from this, but they make it to 5 and 5 kills. We have the Manta style almost up on Nexus. I have sudden hope again, especially since it looks like they're gonna 5-man Dota with the mechanism that they picked up.
Yeah, 5-man Dota is a pretty good option for them right now. They're gonna farm and push this lane very fast as well. Nexus with a Manta style already. Luna, probably one of the best Manta style heroes out there. As well as that though, she doesn't have a BKB yet. And if she doesn't have a BKB, 5-manning with her is pretty dangerous, because you have to basically stun anybody that comes close to her, and Relax maybe don't have enough to do that.
Yeah. Nyx Assassin smelled trouble, so he teleports out in rage. Probably the right thing to do. Well, is the right thing to do. Like he has spider senses, because there's no... there was one in middle. I guess he felt it coming from mid lane, and a bit from his own lane as well.
Yeah, I mean, just good map sense, really.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just a good understanding of what the enemy team wants to do versus you. It's pretty hard to do, but mid lane.
Dread in some trouble. Might still send out a soul assumption before he dies. Indeed he does. But Crystal Maiden looks to be making that alive. A Doom up on Tema Wild in the meantime, and Storm Spirit continues to zip. Slows Tema Wild down. That should be another pickup. 2 kills. Both go in the way of the Storm Spirit. And definitely needed for him, as it helps him create a more Orchid time. We instantly have a smoke as well. Relax is going to be having 2 heroes on the bottom lane. They still have that mechanism. Open wounds up on the Bristleback already. Turns his back towards red light. But it doesn't matter. That's going to be, or does it? It might matter. Mechanism comes out still. He makes it out alive. It is the Crystal Maiden that gets picked up by just the Quills. And it infests from the Lifestealer inside of the Doom as he stuns the Nyx Assassin with the Centaur Stomp that he picked up. And runs himself out of that battle. That was a bit too greedy from their side.
Yeah, and that was actually a really smart play by Relax there. What they did is they backed up a little bit, because I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they saw them with this ward here. I think they saw just the edge of the smoke being used, worked out who was camping, you know, they knew that the Storm Spirit wasn't going to be coming there, and they were able to bait them in. Accept came in, I don't know who Accept is, I'm trying to remember.
Dread.
It's Dread. Okay,
Dread.
yeah, the guy with 4,000 commends.
And
Jesus.
the guy with a lot of fans in the chat, I think, too.
Yeah.
He's a very active. He is the Sing Sing of Russia.
Yeah, that I've seen him like constantly be up streaming with
Yep.
1 billion viewers.
Exactly.
So
Wow, it looks like Relax has completely taken over the the Radiant jungle, rather. Look at that. Now
yeah,
going
they're
over
just
to
trying to create more space for themselves at this point because things are a little bit, bad for them still. They've actually managed to pull ahead now on farm on the Luna, which is really important because she is a naturally faster farmer than the Lifestealer, and even with the Midas, Luna's going to farm faster at this point, and it's a pretty good matchup as well.
Oh, Alchemist, you're so dead, dude. Nice stun still. Oh, no, actually, they're gonna try and take 2 in return for this. Tiger in peace, you're dead. Tiger in space, rather, and he's dead too. Tiger in space? Why Tiger in space? That's Shaklo, but still. 2 for 1, not bad. Not bad at all, because they only lost to support Alchemist, and they got themselves a Bristleback, of course, that has been doing really well for himself. He is actually second highest for his team on net worth. And of course a support as well, so favorable trade for neXtPlease.
Yeah, that's pretty much a sacrifice for them. I think the Alchemist kind of knew what was coming and just decided, I mean, we know they're camping in our jungle. If I can make them commit underneath the tower, they have great initiation from the Storm Spirit and the Doom coming out as well, who himself has gone for pretty much the same build as the Bristleback at this point. I looked at them and I was like, hey, those guys are playing the same hero in their head, but actually very different style of hero.
Yeah, I do like it. I do like also the aggressive style that Shaklo has right here, as he feels like he can man-fight a Lifestealer. And he actually maybe can. Oh no, Red Light realizes what's going on. He backs out and means in the middle lane. He's needed there. Storm Spirit is already on the floor. There goes a Doom as well. We already have a double kill for Dread. He looks to be getting more Nexus. Actually, is the one to go down, with Dread dropping as well. In the end, it's 3 for 2 in favor of. Oh, hello. In favor of Relax, in favor of Nex, I was gonna say, but they still lose their Crystal Maiden because Tama Wild jumped in with the Waning Rift and gets the kill. It's good that was needed.
It was a really odd fight there. They came in to defend their tower, and, well, they've only just remembered that they need to deny it off now. But Storm Spirit initiated up on somebody that the puck was right behind. So Storm Spirit went down instantly. The Luna dropped the Eclipse on top of him. He's just instantly destroyed. But Next were able to pick out a pretty good fight from it despite all of that, just because they have such strong heroes at this stage of the game. But it's still a pretty even trade, although Relax did lose their Luna, which is very critical for them, because they're very much relying on her to do well this game. They also kind of need her to do extra well, because they're worrying about whether she gets doomed or not. They have to protect her in these fights, and they're not managing to, which is a little bit worrying for them.
Yeah, and I guess though, I mean, we talked about neXtPlease having, and a Doom, and a Lifestealer, and a Storm, and perhaps later on also an Alchemist, as we see Nyx Assassin getting picked off on the top lane. Still gets the Spike Carapace up, and actually with a Vendetta, he gets away. Nicely done for him. But one thing that is actually worrying me right now, apart from Tama Wild being completely doomed and killed mid, is that there are no tier 1 towers left standing for neXtPlease, and if you have so many heroes that can be your core, they all need farm, and they need their farming space then obviously, and right now Relax is doing a pretty good job at making sure that the farming space of neXtPlease is just pretty damn small, as Tiger in Space Shaklo comes in. Can't really do anything just yet. Goes for the drum charge. Is gonna chase down this Crystal Maiden. Impale coming from the high ground from solo. Crystal Maiden dropped already.
Yeah, they just... This is a real problem for them. It takes them a ton of time to actually kill a tower here. Nyx pretty much has to rage and just hit it with the armlet, and that's all of their physical damage. They don't have a huge amount of physical damage at this point. And Relax are actually going to go in and take the Roshan. But yeah, in that case, they had to just say, bye-bye CM. They knew she was going to die. She's the slowest one there. She's very easy to kill, and Doom as well as the Lifestealer can get themselves out of there. But again, another advantage for Relax is that, like you said, they can kill towers very quick, and they don't need quite as much farm perhaps on their heroes. The only one who needs a huge amount of farm is Nexus.
Yeah, and he is definitely getting that. His BKB is almost done, just needs the recipe for it, and perhaps he's going to get that with the next big team fight, which seems to be being looked for by Relax, as they have smoked up after doing Roshan, so they've got that Aegis as well. Right now, neXtPlease is mostly sitting on the top lane though, and the courier is going to be okay. I was just a bit worried for the courier there, but it looks like we're gonna see Nyx Assassin already finding Rustvi here, and that's the first one. And everybody is on the top lane. The courier still goes down, by the way. Radiance courier, in comes the Eclipse. It's already Alchemist picked up as well. At least Crystal Maiden lives for the moment. Storm already forced to zip away. The Doom still goes up on the Bristleback, but he's the tankiest one there. And the Doom himself is gonna get picked up by Dread. It is 1-4-3 already, and it's gonna be more because I don't think Red Light is gonna make it out of this one. He hasn't died yet so far. Blink forward, orb the wrong way from Tamar Well, but it doesn't matter. Soul Assumption and a couple right clicks. Armlet toggling is coming in. Red Light running for his life. Even if he still goes down, at least he makes sure that they have to work for it. He's gonna try to find a creep. If he can infest and infest out, he might be able. Oh, he can't get it in. Well, that sounded really bad.
But that was play for Red Light.
He was so close to getting his full health back from the infest out.
I thought he was gonna make it. I was hoping he was gonna make it. He maybe could have, but it was such a hard situation there,
Yeah.
and a big win for the side of Relax, but really a mistake from the side of Next. I mean, the initiation from Relax was perfect, right? The Nyx Assassin came in, he stunned the two people who were most likely to actually do damage, rather than putting everything onto Crystal Maiden, which is really smart play, because he came in, could have killed the Crystal Maiden, but decided she's not as much of a threat. Instead, initiated on her and then stunned two others. But next, they ran in and they doomed a Bristleback, who he doesn't even care if you doom him.
No, with Bristleback, he just could stand there, being alive, as Nyx Assassin might be in some trouble. The Gem of Truth is there as well, so no Vendetta escape this time, even though he still has it on cooldown, of course. But good pickup, as it was Nyx Assassin and Bristleback that tried to get a pickup in return. Earlier. That was the initiation. Nyx Assassin with the 4 staff, by the way. I haven't really talked that much about items, apart from, of course, mechanisms being up. That's because both teams are so fight-orientated that there's movements all the time. We do, of course, have that Orchid up by the Storm. He's had that for a bit. The BKB now ready for the Luna as well, as we actually have Visage or Dread trying to build towards his Aghanim Scepter. And that's a first tower down for neXtPlease. Maybe, yeah, Dread's gonna get picked up. Showed that he was there, and oh, Tamar Wild in with the big Dream Coil. It's not going to be enough though, or is it? Freezing Field coming out for Rustvi. It is going to be 3-4-2 for now. It looks like we might still have Storm dying, and DD goes down. Aegis being used, Red Light teleporting out, not going down this time. Buybacks being used from Tamar Wild. The Dream Coil hit on 4, and they were able to kill off 3 of them. A very worthy fight, which started with just Visage being picked up, I thought, until Tamar Wild came in and turned that whole thing around.
Yeah, the fight initially looked like it was just going to be, you know, Visage dies, and then Next just go on and take a tier 2 tower, which would have been huge for them at this point, because, like you said, they just took their first tier 1 tower, but the Puck jumping in got an absolutely perfect Dream Coil and Waning Rift there. If it hadn't have been for that, they just wouldn't have been able to fight that, because it's very hard to contest a lineup such as Next, which is so tanky at this point, and just has so many items as well. I mean, Red Light is very huge, although the Luna is getting a lot fatter. She still kind of needs more items to actually sort of 1v1 fight the Lifestealer, I feel.
Oh, zip in. Just for a Vortex on Nexus. BKB turned on as well. In comes the mechanism from Relax. They might try to turn this around. Lifestealer may be overextending a bit. Gets a Soul Assumption. Eclipse coming out as well. They really want to get him down. In comes Illusion Beam. Picks him up. neXtPlease running back to their base. They lost their main core hero in that fight. And they get themselves a tier 2 tower as a prize for taking him down. Very good fight from them, if you can actually call that. Or maybe it's just uncontrolled fight coming out from neXtPlease, because that Lifestealer was way too far in.
Yeah, he just sort of ran in there. I think they expected their team to be able to do more, and I don't think Doom was up when the fight actually started, which is really what their lineup needs right now. They just need to Doom Nexus every single time.
Yeah.
It will stop the Lunar Blessing. It stops her doing as much damage. She can't Eclipse. She basically becomes useless at that point and has to leave. And the rest of Relax's lineup aren't that strong at fighting at this point, because it's getting later. They don't do as much physical damage. Oh wow, nice play by Nexus.
Yeah, I saw
nice
nice Manta split. Oh, Crystal Maiden standing next to the bounces of the Luna. That's not gonna be good for her health. Oh, the hard up on the Bristleback, as if he wasn't tanky enough before that. Ooh, Vendetta being used. Looks like they want to have a bit of a turn and burn here. They've smoked up Looking for the Storm first, already silenced up. Soul Assumption coming in as well. It's enough. Takes him down. Dream Coil up onto Doom. Not able to get his Doom out so far. He's getting nuked down. Goes down before he can do anything at all. Alchemist, same story. 3 dead. And this could be Rax. This could be way more
this
than Rax.
This is Rax, definitely.
Yeah. Crystal
they
Maiden
don't
will
have
get
any
picked up
way of
as well.
defending this or buybacks.
Radiant's top tower is under
Big mistake from them.
Yeah, I fully agree that was way too far out, way too careless. They are fighting against backdoor protection. I guess that is a blessing for neXtPlease, but nonetheless they are gonna lose their tower, and the backdoor protection of the Rex is soon gonna drop away as the creep wave is here, and
Radiant's top
this
tower
might
is
actually be
under
more than one set. Lifestealer is alive, fair enough, but they need their whole team to fight this. They need that perfect initiation to make sure this is happening for them, and I'm not sure if they can get it. Rotation towards mid. The tier 2 towers are already picked up anyway.
They're
Oh,
going
no,
to
they're
just
not gonna-
about have enough time to defend this. The creep waves are too far pushed out. If it hadn't have been for the backdoor protection, they would probably have just lost the game.
Yeah.
Right there. So things are very hard for them now, and I think perhaps just a little bit of they were pretty comfortable in this game. Things weren't going perfectly for them, and I think they just got a little bit too overconfident with where they could position themselves, and they basically, this has to be the huge fight for them now. They've even got the infest into the Storm Spirit, so they need that perfect initiation, and they know it.
They have no perfect initiation. Well, then say bye-bye. They are looking for it, though. They've smoked up. They have an infested Lifestealer inside the Storm. Everybody of Relax is inside the Radiant Jungle, though, and neXtPlease is going the wrong way. They might be able to find a courier, but that's it. So Roshan is not up yet for a while. That's a Radiant Courier. Now they know where they are, and both knows where they are. 4-staff forward, 4-staff in return as well. And Silence already up on 3, and it looks like a Dream Coil up on 2. At least Alchemist still able to get his stun off. Spike Carapace does a lot of work there, stopping a lot of people from going in, but Nyx Assassin will still go down. Puck doomed, getting away. Dread picked off. Too close by. Nice familiar stuns on 4. Glimpse coming out from the side. That's gonna be Storm Spirit picked up by Nexus, who wasn't doing anything yet this fight apart from just popping his ultimate, and now is looking to chase down some people. Finds himself a Crystal Maiden. Frostbite's still there, but I'm not sure how much that's gonna matter. Nope, that's Crystal Maiden bursted down as well, looking for more, but they're just gonna try to push. No Storm Spirit is the biggest deal here. They only lost 2 supports. They still have got their 3 cores, and they've got a sacrifice now too. So why not try to go in? Crystal Maiden being dead, not that big of a deal, but it was one of the disables that, of course, neXtPlease has.
Yeah, they need as many disables as possible, and the biggest thing is they need their AoE to get rid of the creeps around here. So they might just lose their racks from this. I don't feel like they can really stop this. They possibly just need another fight whenever they can get a good one, but oh dear, no.
Oh, Lifestealer,
Red light.
what are you doing? He doesn't have a rage, he's silenced. Now he rages, there we go. They can't afford to lose their lives. Like, okay, they're losing their racks, they have to accept this and move on, or perhaps win the next fight. But in comes the Nyx Assassin with an Impale. There's already stun up on the Alchemist as well. Down goes Storm as he only just came back. The GG is called Game 1 in hands of Relax after a strong start for neXtPlease Gaming. We're gonna see a second game though, as this is a best of 3. So perhaps neXtPlease is gonna be able to force out a third game. We'll see it. What do you think, by the way? Like, this was outplayed, right? Because I was about to ask outpicked or outdraft or outpicked or outplayed, but we already decided that neXtPlease at the laning stages, they kind of had outdrafted Relax.
I feel like the big issue for them was perhaps that their Storm Spirit didn't farm enough. He actually had a lot of deaths going later into things, and if he'd had a BKB, he would have been very strong this game, because they wouldn't have been able to stop him with the Nyx Assassin. They would have been able to silence him. They wouldn't have been able to get him caught out and then just Luna ult, and that happened multiple times in that. And the Storm Spirit is a big part of their lineup. It's their solo mid hero. It's the hero that you put you put in to do the most impact throughout the game generally. So I feel like that was the biggest issue for Next, and Relax just outplayed them. They caught Next off guard just a couple too many times, and they had a very strong team to just destroy the enemy base. Luna, one of the best heroes for doing that, and she only got 2 deaths in this game, which were very early on, so big deal from her.
Big deal indeed. And for people watching, something that you kind of have to know, because Russian stream is actually working right now. So so there you have it. And I think that's a very important thing to note, because a lot of people were hoping to see the Russian stream, I believe. So just so you are aware, it is now possible to watch the Russian stream with Punturo again. So we are going to jump ourselves into our second game of the series and see if neXtPlease can take your advice and take a second game. We'll be right back.